Well, you know what we are going to have to change is maybe not just the arms of the mics.
So
I almost want to just have it in front of us.
Probably in the house we rent, but then once we end up finding a home after, I just like the arms. They're so fun. I want to talk over here.
Yeah, but see, it doesn't work for me because I talk so loud.
Oh my! Remember, we couldn't figure that out at first, though, and I was like, "Babe, you got to put it far away because everyone's saying I don't talk loud enough."
Well, and it actually looks fine. But if I were to be like, this is heard. Sorry, everyone. But I guess it still works for me this way. But I just want to put it up when we do how we do the Zooms. Maybe I can just have the mic here, and we'll experiment.
Play with it.
I'm so used to it. I think that's the one thing I'm gonna miss most is the familiarity of this studio.
Sure.
This has a lot of life. We did about 90 some episodes in here.
Crazy. This was really the rebirth of the Freddie and Alyssa show. You know?
Yeah, it was the
2.0.
Taking it to the next step of not just putting an iPad and streaming it live in the living room, like taking it to the next level of professional and the quality. And then being able to work with brands.
Yeah.
Because you got to show that professional vibe. Because if brands are going to want advertisements, you can't just be in a living room. I mean, you can, but there's something better when you're pitching yourself to have a high quality.
Think about how many times, too, we've been really inspired to podcast, and all we had to do was come in here and turn the lights on.
Yeah.
In our old place, it was like, it's 9:45 p.m., and we have to put everything up. You know, you just
it worked well to have that.
Yeah.
So we're going to continue, but that's one of the things that we're going to miss. This is the Goodbye Los Angeles podcast, and I actually feel... Do you feel that this is the last one since we're doing it, the last one in this studio? And for everyone listening, we're taking it on the road. We're gonna bring it to Florida. This isn't going away with the studio. This is the last podcast in this studio, and I feel a little sentimental.
I do too.
And you almost feel a little bit of sadness or loss or grief. I can't really decide what it is, but also mixed with excitement, which is strange.
Of course.
But
nostalgic.
Yes, because this is what it feels like filming. People have always asked when filming the goodbye scenes on days. You have a natural, like, this is the last time in this place. So you bring that natural, like I'm saying goodbye. You have a little extra in it.
You know I'm sentimental, dang it.
I know.
Don't make me cry on this goodbye episode.
I know. I want to talk more about it, but I want to get into the episode quick today.
Let's get into it.
So welcome everyone to the Freddie and Alyssa show. If you're new to the channel, please subscribe, like, comment, all that fun YouTube stuff. If you're watching on Facebook, like, follow. If you're listening on a platform like iTunes, you want to give a review, 5-star would be amazing. That would be awesome. We've been putting up videos now for over 3 years. We're about to go on the road. We're about to show you a road trip. We're about to build a new podcast studio in Florida. We're about to start this new chapter in our life. Why wouldn't you not want to subscribe and hit the notification bell? It seems like it's the thing to do.
Just do it.
Just do it.
Nike says.
Just do it. Just do it all.
We ripped down the entire studio. Just do it.
I was going to subscribe. This got aggressive. But thank you all. In all seriousness, how cool to have an idea and then for it to become a routine, not only for us, but a growing experience, and for the audience who have subscribed and come along the journey. If you're new, I think you're coming in right at a great time as well. We're really just catching our path here, and we're finding it, and we're finding what we want to talk about and how we want to bring you news and entertainment, inspiration, education. So we're just having a blast. So we want to thank you on every platform for tuning in. We're trying to release this on every platform to have less friction.
Right.
Wherever you're comfortable listening, the Freddie and Alyssa show is there for you. So that's awesome. And then cheers to you. This is not a fueled up episode, but we've got coffee and some Truly.
Man, I feel like this entire past week things have gotten real and we have not stopped. And if I didn't have this coffee, I mean, I was so tired and now I feel great.
I'm the same way, but with the alcohol.
Right. Well, alcohol does the same thing too. I just wasn't ready to do it. It is Friday when we're shooting this.
Well, I wanted to have, at least one or two, just in general, but then because I'm going to take down this whole entire studio tonight. Oh. And then we're going to pack, we're trying to make the packing as small and easy as possible. So I'm taking the table apart. I'm taking down, you can't really see this, the TV stand is on what would you call this? Like it's got like, it's a stand, but it's got wheels. You can roll it around like the old school in school. Remember they used to have those big carts with the TV with the big strap on the TV,
my gosh.
and you'd watch the what did we used to watch?
You'd get so excited when you saw
Rainbow
the teacher
Road?
reading Rainbow.
Reading Rainbow.
Reading Rainbow, I can't go anywhere. Place to know, da-da-da, it's Reading Rainbow.
You think this would have a reaction that would create joy and nostalgia? It's causing terror and fear in me.
It's Reading Rainbow, Rainbow, Rainbow.
Remember, there was this one video. I don't know what this was, but my friend Brett.
Oh no.
We were watching this, and they were showing like a National Geographic or something, but it was these poor elephants that had
tell me a sad story.
that had gotten out.
Don't you tell
and
me.
they had to put it down.
Don't you tell me.
And he was looking at me like, "What are we watching?" And oh my God, it was so sad. I remember that, and then the Reading Rainbow. Is that where they were going around in like a rocket or something?
No, that was the school bus. Oh.
Schoolhouse Rock?
No, that's something else too. What was the flying school bus with Miss Frizz?
Here, look it up real
I
quick.
have to.
Yeah, but anyway, the we'll get back to what it is. But there's a stand, but I'm breaking everything down into pieces so that it'll be a smaller pack job because we're getting charged per cubic feet. So the more things I break down, the cheaper it's going to be to move.
P.S. Her name was Miss Frizzle, excuse me, and it was the Magic School Bus. Remember this woman? Come on.
I mean, kind of, yeah. Yeah, I remember the Magic School Bus, yeah.
Miss Frizzle.
Miss Frizzle.
We always watch this in school. But you get so happy when you saw the teacher rolling that out when you're walking into class, and you're like, yeah, today there's a movie.
You know what I heard? You know why we got shown movies?
They were hungover.
They were hungover. All you teachers were on to you. So you're like real people. And you know what's interesting? We were probably 12, so a 25-year-old seemed like a mom.
Yeah.
And they were out, and they were drinking.
They were partying.
And they were too hungover to teach, so they put us on and watched an elephant escape.
That's so bad.
I'm almost wondering if they actually showed us that or if Brett was just making a joke, but I feel like that would have been... You know what else we did during those movies? Or just during class? We used to bring these little handheld water guns, and we would just sit and we'd wait, and then we'd just like shoot people with the water guns and then just like be chilling.
You wild boy, you.
Yeah. We had fun. You know, when I went back to the school in 2014... The principal said that our 2006 graduating class was the worst class that ever came through that school.
That's not good.
Half of the class was suspended that year. The whole entire class trip, because if you got suspended, you couldn't go on it.
Right.
There was only 30-40% of the whole class got to go on it. It was the worst class ever. Just a bunch of shenanigans.
Naughty class.
There's a bunch of hoodlums.
Hoodlums.
Those were the good times. when you didn't care, when you just had fun, lived in the moment. What a perfect segue into... we've talked about the reasons that we're leaving, and there are things that aren't perfect with California. California is definitely going through some growing pains right now.
Sure.
But there's enough people online talking about that. And, I would love to just talk about the good things. I would love to talk about the good times, the good memories that we have, and the things that we're going to miss, rather than the issues that California is having. And that's a really good thing. Like, what sticks out for you? If you had to pick our basic, almost 15 years, what do you think are some of the highlights for you that has stood out that you're going to miss about the state of California and the culture of California, the environment and atmosphere of California?
One of my favorite things about California, and we've always said this anytime that we travel, is the fact that you can get anything that you want, no matter the time of the day. It just is all right there at your fingertips. And I know that going to a smaller town or a different state, things will be a little different.
So accessibility.
Yes.
If you want a roast beef sandwich, it's there in 15 minutes.
If I want that at 2 a.m.
Do you want some drugs?
Nope.
Half kidding. We don't do them. But
I'm just saying,
you can get anything you want here, yeah.
Anything you need, I mean, it is all so attainable and you can get it so easily. And I love the weather here. I know we're definitely going to a humid climate in Florida, and I grew up in South Florida, so trust me, I know all about it. And it is beautiful, but I just love when you can walk outside here and you almost don't feel the temperature at all because it's so perfect.
Yeah.
And then obviously I love the beaches here, even though we haven't gone that much, but we did go, but we'll get into that. And I think for me, just all of the memories of there being so much opportunity here. And I know the world is changing. You know, you can have opportunity from this. You don't have to be here. But when we first moved here, you had to be in the city. So that's what I loved about it. That's what originally brought me here. So all of those little things. What about you?
Yeah, I mean, you definitely nailed it. I think the biggest thing was the opportunity. There was something about California. I remember seeing the palm trees for the first time when I was 17 out here, January of '05, when I came out for that IMTA competition. And just, there was something magical about, the Tokyo Drift, the Fast and Furious Tokyo Drift was being filmed, and celebrities. And there was this, greater than life. There was this this special like red carpets and celebrity. There was this mystique. I can't find the right word. This everyone's probably shouting like the right words, but you get what I'm saying. It was just like mystical, and the fact that the whole entire world now has shifted where you can create that through your phone nowadays. You don't have to be here. So as much as I'm remembering all that opportunity, I'm kind of glad that the opportunity is everywhere now.
Yeah.
But I think the thing in general is just how cultured California is. I think you and I have grown so much because in California, it is just the most diverse melting pot of ideas, of people, of cultures.
Yep.
It's insane. It gives you a true perspective of the world, of the true melting pot of the world, and it really helped us open our mind, be open-minded, perspective, be open to new ideas.
Yep.
There's something about people who come to California also that's just fast-paced, which I've heard about New York, but I haven't lived there enough. But I think New York is I've heard enough that there's different, but there's something when you do travel.
LA is so laid back. Everyone who comes from New York, they're like, people here, it's different, but it's still city, and there's still a lot going on.
Well, I'm just saying that if you do go to a Midwest town, or if you go to a smaller town, things are definitely slowed down. And it's like an ebb and flow. Where if you can keep your motivation and thinking big, if that's what you want in life, I love that we can pull that from the city that we've learned, the hustle, and apply it though to a slower moving place.
Yeah.
But that's the thing that I also want. I want to, like in my hometown, it is rude if you don't wave to a neighbor.
Right.
It is rude if you don't help your neighbor. Like this, it's all, people will spend 3 hours of their time talking to their neighbor, and it's awesome. And that's what I'm looking for. But somewhere in California, there's no time for that.
Right.
It's like you got to go hustle, you got to win, you got to create success. So I really loved being plunged into a place that was just fast-paced, pretty much open 24/7. Accessibility, just everything was here. If you needed anything, someone can provide it for you in California. Like even in my hometown, there's no Postmates, there's no Uber. Like it hasn't even made it to my hometown yet. So to think about when the first self-driving taxis pick you up, it's not going to be in a rural Iowa or Ashtabula, Ohio. It's going to be in Los Angeles, California.
Right.
When there's no driver, that's going to be in California. So I think just you've mentioned that, the access of California I'm going to miss, the weather.
I think too, you mentioned in the beginning when you first came here, there was this magical thing about Los Angeles. You know, there were so many celebrities, people you grew up listening to or watching on TV, and there are just so many instances that I found myself in throughout the 15 years of being here that I go, holy cow, I can't believe I'm at this person's house. Oh my gosh, I can't believe this person just opened the door for me. Oh my gosh, Britney Spears was just chased out of the Ralphs on Ventura and Vineland by paparazzi while I'm walking in. You know, like little things that you're just like,
You're driving at a stoplight, Mark Wahlberg's there, and he kind of like gives you the little head nod. I'm like, hi, Mark Wahlberg. How are you?
Do you watch the Freddie and Alyssa show?
This was years ago. This is when I had a broke down Mustang and it had tape on the front. But this was only temporary, Mark. And he was in this Suburban, just super cool. But we've ran into so many celebrities. It's just
crazy.
Neat. When you go out to restaurants, you're going to see people 24/7
all the time.
So I think the vibrant energy, and I think that's why this is such a weird time to leave, because all of what we just said is now on lockdown.
I know. Which kind of makes it easier to go.
It just deflated. It just went, like, on top of social media, influencers, the ability to create your own content, opportunity everywhere. The taxes going up, the California in this like rut, and just like they're in a really, really tough spot. And then just the industry shrinking, and then everything just went. It's kind of what happened to that magical thing, and it just kind of changed. But yeah, I think you're right. I think the biggest thing is just there's an energy that unless you lived here, you can't describe it. Mm-hmm. I'm also going to miss the fact that we know this place so well.
I know.
Like if someone said, "Oh yeah, my apartment's off of Tahunga, right next to Lancashire by the U-Haul place," you're like, "Oh yeah, I know that." Mm-hmm. Or, "Oh, we're off of Fulton," or take Fountain Nova to La Brea, we're right on the corner there, and you're like, "Oh yeah," like we know every street and every crossing because we've driven these streets
for so long. Well, I wanted to go very badly to Malibu Beach yesterday because one of my first memories that was just really important to me when I first came out here, I was with my dad and we went to the beach and I was just like, this is so cool. I've never put my toe in the Pacific Ocean before. And it was just this whole thing. And I remember my mom told me too, she's like, when you go, make sure you put your toe in the ocean. You've never touched that ocean before. And I was like, I can't leave without going to the beach because when I first moved here, I went to the beach a lot more. And I feel like even when I first met you, we might have had a few beach days as friends. Mm-hmm. It was just something to do. And then as life continued to happen, you're like, oh, there's traffic. Oh, it's kind of far. It's 45 minutes. Not that bad. But we went yesterday and I was so excited. I wanted to go dip my toe right in that ocean again, which we did. But it was so crazy because when we were coming down the canyon, we saw this huge, did it not look like a huge cloud where the ocean would be? And
it was strange. It almost looked like a tidal wave was coming or something.
It was very weird. Normally, when you come out down the canyon, you see this beautiful ocean. I mean, just the most stunning thing that you'll ever see in your life. Well, we didn't see that. And so we kept going down, and we noticed it was fog. And we're like, this is so crazy that the very last time we're going to come here, there's fog, and it was just...
Oh, you couldn't see it. There could be a massive ship that was right up on shore. It was that thick of fog.
Yeah.
Like thick.
So thick.
Yeah.
And so we ended up going, well, we're here, let's park and just see what's going on. And so we ended up walking down. And first of all, are you sore today from going down those steps?
Not yet.
Oh, I'm so sore. But it's really cool because when you go to a beach out here, at least we went to El Matador Beach in Malibu, you get to these steps and you have to go all the way down.
Very, very steep.
Very steep. And then they have like these incredible rocks that just, I mean, the landscape is just stunning. And so we went down. There are people like filming there. They're shooting something. They're taking pictures. And we're like, man.
You couldn't have painted a picture more of, like, if someone goes, Freddie, if I move to California right now and I want to go to the beach, it can't be that bad. This was the day to go to show them we're not crazy.
Yeah.
However, there was no traffic.
Yeah.
I will agree on that. It was the most beautiful drive.
Yeah.
We even stopped at the canyon, like during the canyon drive, and we pulled off.
Oh, the lookout.
It was completely silent. Because we've always been in the city. I've never heard silence like that. And so that was beautiful. But then once we got to the PCH, the Pacific Coast Highway, you had to park. We parked about 0.3 miles away, but there is no sidewalk. So people are driving like crazy. Yeah. So we kept on looking back over our shoulder, then walking a little bit. We had Benji over our shoulder. The parking lot was full. And then there was tons of people. And there was like half people had masks, half people didn't, which is fine. You're outside. I'm very big on like if you're open and no one's around,
right,
fine, take a mask off. But everyone was shoulder to shoulder walking down these steps. So we had the dog. Then there was a film crew there. This poor girl. And I was like, she had to be a pro. There was a model, or it seemed like it was a high production. This wasn't just like an influencer. This was a paid model. And she was taking pictures, and this crying kid remember that family?
The chick okay, so there was a model on the steps, right? Is that the one you're thinking of?
Yeah. But before we tell the story, this is the epitome of Hollywood that I love. But at the same time, I'm just like, in Florida, I just want to drive to the beach for 15 minutes. I want to park for free.
In the parking lot.
And just get out in the sand. And everyone's just sitting there.
Parking might not be
This
free,
is no parking. And then, of course, it's just riddled with Hollywood. There was tons of influencers taking pictures down there, including ourselves. I'm snapping pictures of you. And and then they had this big production with a legitimate, so back to where we went. There's this model on the stairs. She's taking pictures. People are trying to squeeze by. The kid's crying, and she's just like, just hitting it. Was not
phased.
No, crushing on the steps.
I am getting paid.
Yeah.
There's this kid just crying, and the mom's trying to bring the poor kid up. It was a mess.
Yeah, so everyone was just waiting there, and but yeah, we went down. But then there was even when we went to take the picture, there was like a boyfriend taking a picture of a girlfriend for her Instagram. Yeah. The waves were crashing. We're like, well, we and then they kind of looked at us as if we were waiting for them, and I wanted to say, you found the great spot. Like, we want to take here.
Yeah.
But then they were kind of taking a while. I didn't want to just hover, so we went to the other side of the rock, and it was open. I go, great. But then there was this other girl and this other couple and this guy with a stand and his beautiful camera. I felt like an idiot with our $900 camera. He had like a $8,000 camera. And they were like, everyone was just trying to take photos.
Get the shots.
No one was relaxing on this beach.
No. Well, what's really crazy, I haven't gone to that exact beach in years.
You told me it was quiet, no one would be there.
It was a literal gem. Anytime I've been there in the past, maybe 2-3 people. You go with a blanket, you can have a picnic, you can go, it's just amazing. We walked out and I'm like, wow, times have changed. The whole drive there, I'm like, babe, no one's going to be there. This is a hidden gem in LA. No one knows about it.
Yeah, definitely was not hidden.
It's now the biggest backdrop for photo shoots. It's so beautiful.
It is beautiful. And I thought on a Thursday for sure, I was like, this won't be packed.
And
it was still packed.
Pretty early-ish.
Yeah. So we were hiding Benji because it was a no-dog place. Yeah. And so we didn't stay very long, but it was nice. I definitely got to get my feet in the water. Yeah. And we got to take some really cool pictures. And
got a little exercise, some sun. I woke up with a little bit of a color on my face.
We were unaware because of the fog.
I know.
But it was 90.
I know.
And sunny, but the fog was blocking it. So, but yeah, we didn't go to the beach too much, but, everything was just work. Mm-hmm. Do you look back on some of the most fond memories of just fun when we were younger?
Oh my gosh. There is one time I'll never forget, and it's with you and I. We were at Guys and Dolls, which was a club that we would go to with our friends. And you accidentally tripped and you fell backwards. I think maybe we told this story before. And you fell backwards on the big table that had like bottle service. And instead of just falling gracefully, you grabbed me and I fell with you.
Yeah.
And we both
were teammates
in public. We were just friends at
Classic
the time,
move.
too. And I was laughing so hard. I will never forget that. I was like, this guy took me down with him.
That was the time of our life in the sense of carefree, just live in the moment, zero care about the future, zero planning. It was all this is going to work out, partying every night, hanging out with friends, going to Panera Bread, then day drinking by the pool, going to house parties, then going to clubs, coming back, going to bed at 3-4 in the morning, waking up at 9, hanging out with friends, going hiking, popping into an audition, hanging. I mean, we just hung out.
It's very carefree.
But it was all going to work out.
Yeah.
And that was after I quit my job. I booked a few national commercials, and my bills were super low. I had 2 years worth of money in my savings account. I was auditioning.
Yeah.
No job, and it was just a time of our life because we just, for some reason, I didn't care.
Because we were so young.
All I thought was, those 2 years, something will work out. Not thinking, well, what about 10 years? And so I feel like 2014, 15, 16 then started. We had fun we've been having fun in different ways, but not in that carefree, just waking up and on a whim get together with friends and drive to Vegas and stay 3 nights,
But I just think as you grow older, there's more at stake. And, we started learning a couple years after that, oh, hey, life isn't always super duper nice to you. You can go through things. We had our car accident, money stolen, just a whole laundry list of things. And things started becoming more serious.
Yeah.
Because you're like, whoa, I know things can go wrong. Now, let me be very grateful for this.
We lost our invincibility.
Yeah.
You realize things could go wrong. But, yeah, I think on the other side of LA, too, we grew into the people that we are.
Mm-hmm.
I know we're going to continue to grow as people, but I feel the foundation of who we are was built here.
Yep.
So who we are now, our morals, our ethics, the way that we want to be positive and how we want to impact people,
Yeah.
that is the foundation that was found here.
Yep.
And now we'll continue to grow, but now I know who I am.
Yeah.
It's very clear who we are. And I look back when I was 23 and it's almost embarrassing. Just the lack of knowledge that I had. But that was built, and then just the career, the work that we did, the fact that you and I met each other. Like if we both didn't come out here, if you'd have went to New York and I went to LA, we wouldn't have
almost
met.
did go to New York, which is really crazy.
I should have. That's nuts that I ever went to LA.
New York would have been your jam. It's
Well,
very
because
much...
and it's also
closer
because
to
I was
family.
closer to my family.
Yeah.
It's weird that I came out to LA, but I did it because I had a manager and I had so much attention from LA.
I mean, at that time, LA was for sure the place for you. There was TV and film in New York, but it was definitely more so for theater. You had more opportunity for sure.
It was more theater and modeling. Mm-hmm. To be a TV or movie actor in 2005, 6 seemed to be LA's the place to go.
Yeah.
And it was.
Yeah.
It was. I had the 4 greatest audition years. I had more auditions from 2006 to 2010 than I think someone who moves to LA now will have their entire life.
Yep.
No one's going to have 500 auditions.
Crazy.
They still don't now. Even I don't.
Especially now.
Even if the industry opened back up, I'd go out once every 6 weeks. I used to go 3 to 4 times a week for 4 years straight.
Different times.
But didn't have the talent to book the jobs. How sad. Had all those opportunities for the biggest shows. Shoo-in. I would get called back for the OC. A callback. It's between me and 3 other people, but I wasn't a good actor. If I went in now, I just feel, I'm not the best, but I'm really good.
You're an excellent actor.
So it's just crazy, but the times have changed. Mm-hmm. It was the time to book, and there was a lot of people who got really famous during that time. But we got to experience 2000 to 2010 was a decade that was very unique in Hollywood and outside of Hollywood.
Yeah.
That 10 years feels like something you can tell when we watch older movies from 2002 to 2005. There was something special. That was really... This gnat
He's
is back. We're leaving.
We're leaving. What's his name? Let's name him.
I'm really good at naming people. I think it's Patrick.
Patrick the Gnat.
Patrick.
Patrick.
Knock it off.
Knock it off, my dude.
We're going to leave you here. There was something very special about that decade because it was the introduction of the internet, but social media was not prevalent.
Well,
And the industry was different. The industry was special. People were still being booked off their look and their talent. Mm-hmm. It wasn't this next phase. Then we got to experience 2010 to 2020, which was the entire breaking point of Hollywood.
Great.
The next 10 years from 20 to 30 is going to be a completely different entertainment industry that we've never seen before.
Well, because we're even seeing right now, which we've discussed before, all of these big TikTokers are being just offered movies. Everyone, it's going to turn into straight offers. I truly believe that. Like within the next 10 years, people are going to be able, like casting will be able to look at your Instagram or your TikTok or whatever it is and go, oh yeah, let's book them. Truly believe in 10 years, auditions will be done.
I don't know. I don't know what it's going to turn into.
We'll see though. You never know.
Just the pipes are used to be full, and that's the problem with television. Our one friend was on a show on ABC that was a great show, had a couple million viewers, which is a lot.
Yeah.
But in that time slot on that network, it was not cutting it.
Yeah.
So they cancel it.
Yeah.
Why are we in these pipes? It's the same thing with the studio. Well, Universal or Fox or Paramount can only release so many films a year, and they can only open so many films on Fridays because there's only so many studios.
Yeah.
Let's open up more.
Yeah.
Let's just let people put the movies out. And why is it rigid? Like, why is Days competing at 1 o'clock? Why are they competing when you can just put it on a streaming service and there's no competition? There's no competition. There's no competition. People just watch it when they watch it.
Yeah.
It's competition in how many views you get, But you're like, we're not competing when this is released at 3 on Easter. We're not competing where someone has to choose this over another show. They can just watch our podcast at 3, or they can watch it a day later at midnight. We're not competing for the advertisements based on a time slot. We're competing on the attention, but not the time slot. And that's what's happening in Hollywood. Let people just make movies. Mm-hmm. I love what Tyler Perry did. I love that he built. Is there anyone else that built a studio? He's the only person that's built a...
But back to the schedule of everything, that's what how DVRs kind of changed the game too. Before DVRs, you had to tune in live. That was your only source of entertainment. If you're like, oh my gosh, my soap is on at 1 o'clock. Oh, maybe I can record it with a
VHS.
Yeah, VHS. But did that viewership count? I don't know.
Yes, because you had to have it on while it was recording.
Okay, so then that would count. And I know DVR, if you watch it, I think within the first 72 hours, they count it. Isn't that weird? So it's all kind of been evolving. And now that people can go on the internet or whatever it might be to watch different shows, it's all changing. It's all evolving.
And the viewership. Rob Lowe was on Rogan's podcast a couple months ago, and he was on some show. I forget what it was when he was a kid. It had 20 million viewers, and it was considered... It was the 60th best show at the time. And there were 20... Because there was only 5 channels.
Wow.
So people weren't... So 20 million wasn't good. Now, a CW show, I think, is a hit if it has 900,000 views. But then Brock Kelly actually sent me an article about how Hollywood's going to make a shift like they had to in the 60s. And I'm interested to watch this shift. But the biggest question in the article was, well if people didn't go see the new James Bond movie, if people aren't going to theaters anymore, the Emmys had the lowest, the primetime Emmys, had the lowest viewership in ever.
That they've ever had.
So what's happening? And the question was, well, where are people's attention going? I'm like, is that a serious question?
It's all right here.
I would rather spend an hour on TikTok watching videos than just a regular show on television. Or you can watch real life things. Like people are making documentaries where they're traveling inside volcanoes. You're watching things about space. You're listening to people have philosophical conversations on a podcast. It almost seems that the Emmys, the primetime Emmys, of course people aren't watching it because 30 million people are unemployed. They don't know when their next job is coming. They don't know what's going to happen in the world. And they're going to tune in to watch rich celebrities cry when they get a trophy about how they've worked so hard for this. And there's a mother of 3 going, I'm working 3 jobs, one's going away. Like, this doesn't relate anymore. I think when the world was cushy, this all was great. But now people want real. It's just hard to relate. That's
I'm trying to think too, though, with the Emmys, because I knew they were on, and I used to always watch award shows, but I was just like, I don't want to watch that. I'm trying to think why. Why did I not care to put it on?
Do you know why, though? Why?
It probably what you said.
But why did I lose interest?
Like, I know exactly what I get if I watch that. And I think it's just the current climate of the world. There's so much going on that it's like, I get it.
And how good can it be?
Yeah.
I think our minds, because of TikTok, Instagram, YouTube, of all this creative content of new, exciting, in the moment, real things.
Yeah.
I'm like, Jimmy Kimmel is either he'll have some funny jokes, or whether it's Ricky Gervais. God, I love Ricky Gervais.
Yeah.
Whoever's hosting will have some funny jokes, and then you're just going to watch people accept their awards.
But were they in an actual?
I don't know.
I don't think they.
No
were.
one was there.
I don't think so. And I think that's another reason, because I was like, oh, we're going to just watch this and they're all zooming in. That was, I think, my main reason. It's like,
I don't know. There's something deeper going on. I'm curious if you all want to comment below if you feel the same way or if we're overthinking it. I don't think we are, honestly.
Or if you watched it.
I mean, the viewers...
How was it?
The viewers said it.
Yeah.
If there were 18 million, then this wouldn't be a conversation. But there was about a little over 6 million, which is the lowest ever. And... I don't know. But the reason that I love talking about it and bringing it up is because we're kind of in the eye of the hurricane of this is what we did/do for a living.
Yeah.
And it's like, well, how do we capitalize on where to go.
Right.
And I think that's what I'm interested in seeing is who is going to get some... Like, now that we have distribution, I can't understand why someone would want to go through the hoopla of... Is that a word?
It is now.
Of this industry. I would put up with it because when it was the only option.
Yeah.
Why can't someone who wants to write a film just hire 2 people with a camera, some sounds, lights, and makeup?
Because you need money. How's someone who has no contact? Look at us. I mean, we're not trying to raise money. We were just trying to...
because you got to ask. You got to go... Like, if I went to Ashtabula, and, you'd have to bring people in from Cleveland who wants to work for free. Lighting, hair, makeup, work for free. We have a great script that's telling a great story. And I can go to the local gas station where my family friend, Tim, owns it. Hey, can we shoot here after hours for free? Yes. Oh, we have a grocery store of a friend. Yes. I could shoot an entire film in Ashtabula for free. But why am I not? Because there's no story to tell that is compelling to there's no story that I want to tell. You can't just make some random story that people can get behind and give their time.
Well, yeah.
When it's just going to be, well, what was the point of the film? If it was a real heartfelt love story, or there was some triumph, or there was some sort of meaningful story. But I'm just saying that there's just more creative ways of making movies these days.
But even if you think of something like Unplugged in all of the locations, which that's where a lot of the prices and expenses come into play, we had the entire banquet of the actual reunion. We had a lot of different, like stunts and the party bus and the hospital and the actual house and more stunts that all of these kids are staying in. So there are just so many different locations, and then you need a permit at the beach, and it gets so pricey.
It's just where you shoot it, though, because that's the other thing is, if you rent a hall in a place like Ashtabula, it's probably $250 for 4 hours. Out here, you're going to spend $10,000.
Then you have to set dress it.
Set dressing, it's fine. The problem is, where do you get the actors? You have to hire a local from Pittsburgh, Philadelphia, Cleveland, and hope people drive in, but then you have to pay for their hotels.
Yeah, I know. That's how I'm
So that's the ebb and flow of, in LA, everyone's there, but you're paying $9 million. If you go to some random town, no actors are there, so then you're paying the $9 million to bring people there.
Don't you also feel, too, that in LA, if you were doing a project and you're like, oh, hey, come do it for free, actors are like,
We've experienced both. There's a lot of people who've worked for free, and there's other people who
That's true.
don't want to be bothered.
That's true. We've seen both. I guess it's just a different vibe, a different city.
Yeah. So the whole point to this mess of ideas is that Hollywood's changing. People are going to be able to shoot anywhere and make low-budget films that are centered around the story rather than these big motorcycle chases, and that'll be always Hollywood. People will always, we talked about that before, they're James Camerons, those will always be there. Every other story, people are going to start telling real-life stories that mean something in a low-budget way, and you distribute them on the internet. That's the future. And that's why I want to just pay attention to what's going on, keep building our brand so that you and I can do that.
Oh, that's the dream, baby.
So it's gonna be great. But yeah, I think the knowledge that we took from Los Angeles that we're gonna bring with us is the thing I love most.
100%.
The knowledge and the experience is going to give us an advantage somewhere else. And I think as much as everyone's leaving, our friends, celebrities that are leaving California, they're going to Colorado, Austin, and Nashville.
Yeah.
Very few people are going to Florida, which I'm glad. It's like a hidden gem. I think people have the wrong idea about Florida. Just like how we assume Texas is a certain way because we haven't spent much time there. I think people assume Florida is a certain way. But Florida is so big and there are so many niches in Florida that there's a lot of opportunity there. And so that's why I'm really excited to bring our expertise there, meet people, keep building our brand, and see what we can do there. And I keep bringing up Tyler Perry just because he's such an inspiration to me. Like what he did is just baller. I mean, he went to Atlanta and built a studio and says, I'm going to shoot my own stuff because I'm tired of having to go through gatekeepers, and built an empire. It's so inspiring.
That's awesome.
That there should be that everywhere.
Yeah, and there will be, though.
And there will be.
There will be.
Because people are always going to be hungry for content.
Yep.
And until people can put on their VR goggles and be in here with us, you know, there's still going to be room for that. So,
so wrapping up the last episode here in the studio, do you have any final thoughts or final words? Because we're never going to be recording in the studio ever again.
I think it's just the pattern. I hope that our actions inspire people, because the one thing that you and I do is do.
Yeah.
We have an idea, we try it. It doesn't always work, but we take what we learn and we apply it to the next thing. So anyone who's listening, who's come on this journey, you've come on this journey with us, okay? Patrick's here. Where's Patrick the neck?
Get over here, Patrick.
For those of you who've come on the journey, I hope that we've inspired you that whatever you've been thinking about doing, whether it's getting into a new relationship, getting a promotion, switching careers, starting a side hustle, working out, whatever the thing is that you've been pondering that you want to start, I hope that us doing can help inspire you to do, because that is where we have found our most fulfillment, is trying new things. I have this chronic boredom that I deal with, and I have found that anytime I experiment with something new where I'm not that good at it and I work to become better, that journey is what's exciting to me. Yeah. And that's why, as much as I'm going to miss this place, this is going to be something we look back on, that I'm proud of our younger selves for getting those green curtains, for getting this table, for investing in the nice cameras, to sitting here week after week and putting in the work to build the foundation that's going to set us up for us to continue to do what we love, to bring people content. So I'm looking back super grateful, but I'm always never too sad, because I just know it was just a stepping stone.
Of course.
And now I'm looking forward to what's next. Top that, babe.
No, for me, I just have to say I am so grateful to each and every person that's taken the time to listen to our podcast, to comment, to follow along on our journey. Like, truly, you who is watching this this
No,
second,
you can't look at the camera. No,
looking
that's cheating. That's cheating.
You told me to top it. No,
that's cheating.
Truly, though, you guys mean so much to us. Like, this show would not be what it is without you. And it seriously, like, it chokes me up. I love life. I'm so grateful, and I'm so excited for what's to come. And I don't know, just the community built. Like, man, you guys, you're the best. So
you really are.
Thankful, grateful, and all of the above.
And such positive people,
Such positive people. Good people.
Life can be tough, but you can always just choose to look at the positive side.
Yeah.
And move forward. Yeah. And that is the net of feeling happy most of the time.
Yeah.
It's all good. Look at the positive side. And that's what we try to live by. And we're just getting started. We have plans to keep this going. We feel podcasting is going to continue to grow. It's going to take over the market in the next 3 to 5 years. And I'm so happy that we have our footing at an early stage. We worked out a lot of the kinks. We're ready to go. We're putting out our 3 episodes a week, and we're going to be a contender. And we're bringing all of you with us. And I can't wait until the world opens back up in the future. We're definitely going to take the podcast on the road. We're going to throw big parties and events. We want to meet all of you, and that'll be great. I can't wait till we can all just hug each other again, and everyone's safe, and get on stage and have guests come on. Like, it's going to be cool. Like, we have big plans. So I couldn't say it better than Alyssa. We appreciate you all so much. So thank you. We're going to say goodbye to this studio, and but we're going to have a couple on the road. Maybe one, maybe 2, I don't know. And then you'll be on our journey when we're building our new place in Florida, the new studio. So thank you all so much for listening. Goodbye, Los Angeles, for now.
We love you. We thank you for everything and all of the lessons and all of the opportunities, and just a really wonderful time.
It's been great.
Yeah.
I loved this chapter of our life, and I'm so pumped to take what we've learned to apply it.
To new chapters, baby.
To new chapters. Cheers. We love you.
Love you
Thank
guys.
you.